I'm following Death vs. Heard, pop culture, news like that, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have heard about the unsealed documents that came out pretty recently about the Death vs. Heard trial. Now, I didn't realize these were things we had actually known for quite a while in many cases. It's just that these are things that got submitted to the court that weren't actually discussed, which kind of feels like really new for some people. However, there are obviously new things in there, but the things I see getting out in the media are things we have known and discussed. Anyway, this is called Johnny Amber Unsealed Doc. Sis Whitney allegedly confessed that Amber had cut off his finger from 8/1/2022, which is August 2022. Here we go. And it begins. More revelations from the unsealed docs, which is what I'm saying. They're actually not revelations, they're things that have been out there, some for over 2 years. But anyway, Per reports, there's a deposition transcript included in the material that didn't make it to trial detailing the Australia fingertip incident as told by Amber's sister's former boss, who claims Whitney admitted her sister was responsible. And, so many people talk about what Amber did, and some people try to say what Johnny did, and things like that. But all the big important events really revolved around what Amber did. Johnny was mostly defensive and some text messages here and there. The woman's name is Jennifer Howell, an art curator Amber's sister worked for during this period, and supposedly during her own grilling in the case pre-trial, she told Johnny's attorneys that in 2015, Whitney had recounted the ugly episode to her in person. And Jennifer Howell has been in the Depp vs. Heard news for, like I said, a very long time. It's pretty well documented before this what happened, and she is very much on Johnny's side, and apparently she worked with Amber and Whitney in person for quite a while. She's really got no reason to lie about them. And by the way, Amber fans love to say, well, of course the people who work for Johnny are going to be against Amber, but Jennifer Howell didn't work for Johnny, so there you go. Howell claims in her deposition that Whitney was with her when Amber contacted her sister to tell her what had happened, and according to Whitney's ex-boss, she allegedly said Amber had done it now, which seems to reference crossing the line as it pertains to fights with Johnny. Right, I remember this. I covered it well over a year ago. Basically, it was heavily implied to Jennifer with words like Amber's done it now, that, well, she's done it now, meaning the finger. This is what J.H. reportedly said to Camille Vasquez in the unearthed transcript, and she cut off his finger, and then she bolted out the door and was like, I got to call somebody. When Camille pressed about who she was, Howell responded, it was Amber and Johnny, and she apparently had thrown a bottle and cut off his finger, is what Amber's sister reported when she came back in front from whoever she talked to outside. Like we said, this portion of Howell's deposition was nixed from the trial, but a small limited section of it did actually get played in court, although it wasn't the bombshell this is. Amber fans complain, Amber's evidence didn't get in, Amber's evidence is nixed from the trial, Amber's evidence didn't have a chance. Well, this is like really great evidence against Amber that TMZ claims, who's really not on Johnny's side, only just peeped in the trial for a second. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard each wanted to seriously paint the other in a bad light, worse even than we saw at trial, with even more damning claims surfacing post-verdict. A treasure trove of court documents has been unsealed, and according to multiple outlets, they contain mountains of unheard evidence that ultimately didn't make it in front of the jury, forming salacious allegations about each party that hadn't been known until now. And I gotta say, what's the difference? The main thing was the article in People, the Washington Post op-ed, the fact that Amber was on tape admitting to abuse. When you take the pyramid of information and important things, yeah, there's allegations and scandalous statements across the board, but the important things, the things that really make the core of the case, are against Amber, and they're the things that have meaning and long-term consequence. And they continue with this. Some of the more noteworthy ones include a claim from Team Johnny that Amber allegedly worked as a stripper and escort at some point early in her career, something his lawyers apparently wanted to present at trial, but were shot down in the end by Judge Penny. And I gotta say, I kind of agree with that one, unless they can connect it directly to the op ed, to the abuse, and things like that. Yeah, I guess it's irrelevant. Someone said to me that if they had pictures of it, which apparently there are some nude pictures, they could show no bruises, but I'm pretty sure those pictures were from before the accusations. I could be wrong, but that's my gut feeling because they're talking about old stuff here with the stripping stuff and that kind of thing. And here they have a video that's been out for over 2 years. I covered this a long time ago. A couple other channels covered it a long time ago. It's also misleading. It says video shows Amber Heard beat up sister Whitney. But what it is Whitney showing where she got bruises and hit and things. It doesn't show Amber actually hitting her and being physical, which the video implies. However, they do mention Amber, and Whitney does show bruises, so obviously it's some great evidence. It's just a little misleading in the fact that Amber's not actually in the video. So I was going to show it, but it's really nothing. It's pretty much 30 seconds of what you see here, her showing her friend her underarm and things like that. And they explain on the bottom here that Depp's team wanted this in, and Judge Penny shot it down. I'm not sure why. It's actually related to the abuse, and it shows Amber has a history of it, or it's evidence that Amber has a history of, just hitting people who's close to her. So, for the Amber fans who might be watching, there you go. It's not like Judge Penny was so biased and everything. Looks like she didn't let Johnny have a lot of the things he wanted either. And also, I just gotta say, this is a pretty pro Johnny article from TMZ, so they do flip flop. TMZ is not all Team Amber. Once in a while, you get something like this, and it's decent. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. Make a new video, something like that. See you next time.